Hey everyone, welcome to another video for Master Data Management in SQL. My name is Elric, and today's video will be an extension of the last video. In the last video we created our first shape of tables, the class family type base shape. And we also saved scripts, we tokenized and saved scripts, and we also added rows to the subject table. Defining subjects essentially. So in this episode we are going to create tables based on the classification of shapes. So I'm just going to go ahead and start. Feel free to follow along if you'd like, or just watch, either or. Let's just have some fun. So, in the last episode, I created some tokenized scripts for the class, family, and type, and now I'm going to create procedures for them. So I'm going to open the class no realm, and I'm going to declare two variables right off the bat. SQL script table create base dynamic SQL. Standard dynamic SQL. Change this to execute. You see we're already created our data types, so that's what we're going to start using now, is our data types. And I'm going to copy this and paste it and do replace create with alter. Excellent. Now we have three sets of tokens coming in. We have the database name and database type name, and we also have the subject name. So I'm going to go ahead and declare those three. And because we're using these in the procedure, they are standard text, not the name data type. So I have subject name, database name, and database type name. I'm just going to go ahead and initialize my create and initialize my alter base variables. Now, in order to successfully create a table dynamically, SQL is going to yell at me and say this has to be the first create table has to be the first thing in the batch. So I am going to wrap this in an exec statement, because that's basically what we have to do. I'm going to copy our database name and database type name tokens and do if not exists, select one from our DB tokenized dot information schema dot tables, I believe. Let me go ahead and check that. Yes. Where name equals what's coming in. Begin. And we're going to have to give this, just 2, because there's no text in here. And essentially what I'm doing is saying, hey, I know that this has to be the first thing in the batch, so technically it is. It's just the first thing in a sub-batch. I'm just going to copy this because the same thing, we are executing these separately, but they rely on the same object. And we know that this shape is going to have all of these columns and all of these defaults. Until we can replace this with definition, this is what we have to do. And that's okay, because, you know, database theory has been around for a very long time and we're improving every day. So that should be it for my create for my class with no realm. Now I'm just going to replace my tokens. I have 3 of them. The subject name, database name, database type name. Excellent. Then we will remember to execute it. And we're just going to highlight this. And replace create with alter. So that is it. For our first procedure that's going to create the class that doesn't have a realm. And we're going to have to come back and do some work on this procedure. It's okay, because what we want to do is essentially remove all of these incoming parameters and change subject name to a subject ID, because the subject table will eventually have a database ID and it will be able to derive this information from that. But for now, at the very beginning, this initialization process, this is what we have to do. I'm going to copy all this code and go to interface main, where we store all of our code. I'm just going to modify one of these. Do object table create this is a class with no realm. Now I'm going to paste all this information, or paste all my code, and move this up to here. Another reason why we wanted our data types in every single database, so we can do that. Creates the class table realmless. Creates for the incoming subject, database name, and database type. Oop. Forgot an equal sign. I should have tested that. Kind of get used to the red text. Just missed one. That's okay. There we go. Now I'm not going to test this individually. I'm actually going to try to test this shape. But I'm going to test the shape with one subject. Now, I'm going to close all but this one. Because we already did the work in the last episode, I'm just going to open the family, copy the create, essentially there's no difference. Copy the alter and do the same, because this has a foreign key attached to it, which the class does not. Well, the class without a realm does not. I'm going to change this to create family and remove the additional classifier. Creates family table. Remove this. For incoming subject, database name, database type name. Oh. Went ahead and read over my code. And I just realized I had class in there, so that's good that I caught that before our test. We'll just have to make sure that we remembered to change that. So that's our second one. We're going to do it again for type. Let's go ahead and open up the tokenized TypeScript from last episode, or last video, whatever you want to call it. I'm okay with that. Paste it. Family to type. We didn't format it, so now we're gonna have to take the time to format it. Thought I had forgot one. It's okay. I'm gonna save that script. I'm going to grab, am I doing this right? Yep, okay. Now I copied the alter, pasted it here, change this to type. We were very general when we declared our variables. It doesn't say class, family, or type in here, so that's really good. And now you can kind of see that a pattern is starting to emerge. We're just changing a small section that this too can be classified in a table structure, which we will eventually do. But for now, this is what we have to do to get things rolling. or get things started as fast as possible, but being patient about it. So now we have our, let me alter that, it's premature when I saved it. Gotta make sure to update the comments. Now, last one is the base, which we formatted last time, or I formatted last time. Just gonna paste it. I'm gonna remove type. Go back and grab the alter statement. Replace it and remove the type and remove base. There we go. Let's refresh our procedures. So now we have a nice little table creation procedure. So we're going to create another procedure that will run those. So I'm going to get started by opening a new window, and I have declare name UDT standard text. That was the subject name, the database name, and the database type name. Excellent. So now our cursor is going to change because we finally have a table to run off of we finally can run a cursor off of a table. We don't have to use table variables anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and select the name from TBL DBO, not TBL ref subject. Let me go ahead and refresh this. Oh yes, we do not have synonyms yet. So I'm going to go ahead and add the database in front of that. So I have select string name from system main or from the subject, or the type ID is in, just going to copy this, where I just want to talk to it, it's okay. Key name is the thing we use in code. We essentially just can copy this, paste it, get that formatted, make it look good, and do the same type of replace we did with the table creation, where we replace family with the next level up, well, going in reverse though, and then replace type with family. I'll get this formatted. Parens, and then we just need to grab this and just replace family with class. So if I run it, I won't get any data back. But what I can do is say, hey, I know we're looking for a common shape. And for this specific case, I'm looking for reference until we can program the family logic into our code, which essentially is meant for the three-part name, like table ref, TBL ref. We'll have TBL GRP. That's why we gave it an abbreviation. But we're looking for reference. I could essentially leave this blank and just pull all of the shapes under the common CFTB. So I can either get all of my reference shapes or all of my common, which we have the same amount, all of my common shapes. And this is how our taxonomy table is going to allow us to get specific results and generalized results at the same time. Because technically, you know, this works too. So yeah, this is first experience in dealing with this system. So now that we have our code, this is actually going to be our cursor. We're going to take the subject name. I'm going to copy this cursor, the cursor name. Lagging a little bit. Hit copy instead of paste. There we go. Get this in there so it's not just spinning. Excellent. And like I said, since we do not have our definition table yet, we cannot create, we cannot find the database that this subject's supposed to belong in. So I'm not going to put any subjects in our system that do not belong in the system main database yet. So we can, we'll eventually get there. No rush. And then this is going to have an order. And we want to wrap it in a try and catch. Because right now we don't have any structures to hold messages, but we will add them in there, and then we'll be wrapping a lot of things in try catches, and it'll capture incoming parameters. But for right now, we're just going to print the error message. And because we know dependencies, I want you also to imagine a sequence column in a relationship table, especially for a definition. The sequence column will tell you the order in which these are executed. But for right now, we have to manually hard code an order. But that's okay. We have to crawl before we walk and walk before we run. But I do not like squares, so I'm gonna get rid of them. Just clouds everything up. I want it to look nice. how I code. Less typing I make, or the less typing I do, the less mistakes I make. Excellent. So essentially, this procedure, we're just going to pass it a subject name, because when we get the subject name in here, when we have the database ID, we'll be able to grab these items elsewhere. And I kind of want to take a note and show you a specific style of commenting that I do. If I comment like this, when I pull the comments out of my system, these will turn into links. So when I'm pulling out the comments for this stored procedure, BCPing them to DocuWiki on my website, these will actually turn into URLs or URIs that will link to the page, so you can read the procedure and be like, oh, it talks to this table, what does this table do? And when you click on this table, you'll see the description and the columns and all of that. So I'm just going to program this ahead of time. So this is so we can actually do stuff like that. And same thing goes here, or goes for these procedures. Grab this, paste it, copy this, copy, copy. I mean, taking this extra time just to add that comment really doesn't cost us a lot of time. But what we get out of it is very powerful. A self-documenting database. I mean, quote unquote self-documenting. So this looks good for our subjects, and to test this, I'm gonna try to create one. Oh, and let's see what I get. Alright, so I'm going to try to create the system database I'm going to try to create the system table in the system database through this code. So let's go ahead and run it. Oh, a little laggy. There we go. Cross fingers. Invalid column name. Oh. That is okay. I know what that means. That's what it is. I did this, but that's okay. See, SQL doesn't even have consistency within their system. For the first few videos, I was querying name, but now, actually it's not table catalog, it's table name. Catalog is the database, table name. But now, ooh, I caught another mistake too. Okay. Alrighty. So let's get this fixed. We're going to have to do this also. Sometimes things happen. Put your mind in another state and you can see more than what you did before. So now we're going to use a specific database. I do have those parameters being replaced. Database name, database type name, excellent. And we have to change name to table name. So that is okay. We'll just do that. But I think it's pretty good. You can see one of the things we're trying to avoid, that being a change in the way things are named. SQL uses name for almost everything else. But then it changes it, and it causes our code to not work properly. Let's run this. Okay. And one more. Getting lost in the code. Happy to create this. Sometimes I miss stuff. So, all right, let's give it another shot. Okay. That is okay. Database type, database name. Kind of worried that both of them didn't get replaced. Okay. So do it all over again. That is okay. Huh, this one worked. Database name. me see if it created any other tables. Oh, so we got the system class family type. It was just the base that was messed up. And that's okay. I mean, that's why we try to copy and reuse. As much as possible. I'm missing something. That is definitely the base. Just gonna read my code. Database name, database type. Just in case I'm code blind. Which can happen. Ah, there it is. Excellent. It's just that extra less than sign. Let's make sure. Okay, that should do it. That should do it. Yes, that should do it. Awesome. Alrighty. Run the whole thing, and yeah. That's what I like to see. So, I think that's gonna be it for today's video. I'm gonna save this code. Actually, let me save this code first. I'll show you another technique I use in naming. We save code in the interface. So I'm going to modify this one. Say creates all of the necessary CFT B tables. Create all CFTB. Let's see if we can find another way. Class, family, type, base. So maybe abbreviations and names don't quite work out. But that works. I'm just gonna replace this code. Remove all this code because this is going to run through and replace everything that's necessary. We don't need to send it any variables. Awesome. Awesome. So congratulations. I mean, fifth video. We're about maybe 2.5 hours, 3 hours in, and we already created several databases and several subjects. Now we can go in and start getting ready to create definitions, and these definitions are what's going to modify the rest of our system. So that's about it for today's video. We're about 2.5 hours in so far with a nice system, and we're able to create one shape just by entering rows into a table. So now we need to get the relationship shape set up, and then we're going to start working on definitions so we can add parents and children to our tables. Hopefully you understand a little bit more about the shape and what it is, this taxonomy, and how easy it is to normalize the table creating process. Thank you again for watching, and my name is Elric, and you have a good day.